Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Woke up this morning accidentally brushing my teeth, and I had some toothpaste on my finger and rubbed my eye right afterwards. So that's not a good thing to do in the morning. So anyway, I had this thought. A couple weeks ago, I shared with Susan and the kids. I was inside of a Indian restaurant, and I was standing near the counter, and a man was standing there in front of me, and he stepped over towards me, picked up his phone, and he was kind of asked me to move out of the way. And so I said, I apologize. Oh, let me step out of your way. And so then he took his phone, and he, with the camera, took a picture of a statue that was kind of a different looking statue than I've ever seen, that was mounted up on the wall. And so we were standing next to each other, and I said, oh, what's that? And he said, that's an idol. And he said, and I said, oh, really? I said, what idol and what deity does that represent? He goes, well, that's the god of, if you need something like an event's coming up or some kind of activities coming up, you pray to that idol, to that deity, and they will remove obstacles for you. And I said, oh, okay. I said, that's very interesting. So I was sharing that with the family. And of course, I didn't continue the conversation and talk to him about anything. It was a pretty quick little encounter. But it just reminded me once again, and I was thinking about this. Obviously, I've been sharing about my study here in the book of Genesis, and of course, in the encounter when Israel comes out of Egypt, they get the 10 Commandments. Moses goes up on the mountain and receives the 10 Commandments from the Lord. And one of those commandments was to not have idols, not make graven images. And that's a very common thing that we see throughout the Old Testament writings, and even in the New Testament when Paul goes into Athens and he sees all the statues, the Greek statues of their gods, and he makes an observation because they had a statue of the unknown God. And he says, hey, let me tell you about the unknown God. And he says, I see that y'all are very spiritual. And he says, let me introduce you to this person and this God. And so, very common. And obviously still common in our day. We have all types of idols and things that we worship and we put before God, and God says not to do that. But what's unique about the word in Hebrew for images is that it's first used in Genesis 1:26 when God says, let us create humans, male and female, in our image. And then it goes on, and I've talked about this, that's the plurality when he's speaking to the host of heaven. But then it says God singularly says, and then God created humanity. He created them male and female in his image. And when you study that word out, that word for image is the same one that's used when they went into the temple of Baal and they removed all of the images, all of the idols. And I've done a teaching on this before about that. What that word really means is that we are gods, for lack of a better term, idols. And actually it means statues. That we as humanity are the statues of God. And God's saying, don't create other ones. I've already created you. You're my imagers. You are the image of God. No reason to have something different than us to image the presence of God. That's not only what we were created as, but that's our role in our lives, is that we're to image God. We're just animated statues. We're animated images of who he is. We're moving beings. We're not empty idols. And so when people encounter us, that's the whole point, that they should be encountering the presence of God, that they should say, oh, wait, hey, there's something here. There's something more to this. When they run into us and when our presence gets around them, because we have the presence of God living on the inside of us. And so we're imaging his presence in the earth. That's our call. Every human being is an imager of God. Not every human being has taken on the name of God yet. And that's our goal, is that our fellow males and females, our fellow humans that are around us, would realize they don't need something else. They are the images of God in their lives, and so are we. And so I just found it very unique when I was having this encounter with the man, and how reverent he was towards it, and taking the picture of it, and just the thought that this empty image hanging on a wall was something that he idolized. He felt and thought that it represented a deity. And it does represent a deity, but that was greater than the true and living God. But I still have this battle within myself, and I've verbalized it a few times. I wonder if we do the same thing when we image the cross. Are we creating, instead of being the imagers, we create images that represent our faith? And I know it's symbolism, and I know it's all that, but sometimes I wonder, I've made the joke, if Jesus died on the electric chair, would we put electric chairs outside of our buildings that we worship in? Or would we tattoo them on our arms and body parts? Would we wear them on necklaces around us? It'd be kind of funny, we would think. So I would think the first century church would think it's kind of odd that we idolize so much the cross. And that's not belittling what happened at the cross. That's recognizing that we have been brought back into being God's imagers in his family. That Jesus is my brother, and the Father is our Father together. And so just a thought. You are the image of God. You are an animated statue for others to see God today and every day. I bless you with that. I bless you with health and healing, wisdom and knowledge, power and prosperity, and the gifts and the fruits of the Spirit of God to be evident and flowing in your lives. I hope you'll have a great week. Talk to you soon.